Right. So, welcome to the interview. It's not an interview. It's a conversation. It's just a conversation between myself and Joel's, and he has an exciting project that he's working on. But I'll let him talk more about that one. So yeah, thank you very much, Joe. Thank you for your time and thanks for doing this. Let's get started. Can you just give us an intro of yourself, like who you are, your origin story, basically?
Origin story. Well, like most, I was born, which is an excellent place to start. Excellent place to start, isn't it? Yeah, so I think I had a really weird like origin story to like the cybersecurity world. I started life in sales, then education, then back into sales again, and then the big COVID hit, and I was learning about website design, and I was building this like wonderful zombie themed website, and it's actually it's really rubbish. Now look back, right, it's actually a terrible website. But that was before ChatGPT, so you can't blame me. Um, so I was building this website, and I spent ages on it, and then I was reading about headlines about hackers hacking into it, this and that. I was like, I've never learned about security in my whole entire journey of web development. So I looked into it more, and I found that more interesting than web development. So enrolled into university. I've done some self-learning, but when I was looking into cybersecurity roles, I could see degree required, 20 years experience in this. Never. I go for the degree first. So I apply for my local universities, and they said no. They turned me down, and I managed to talk my way in, and I've done really well. I got my first and applied cybersecurity, and in the mean, but during that process, I was learning about learning because I'm a dyslexic person and I've done terrible in school. Like we got the GCSE A levels in the UK. Well, I don't have them. I was really bad in school, but I realised that that was their fault, not mine, because my learning style wasn't the style they were showing me. So I started a self-learning journey with my academic stuff, and yeah, never stopped. Still haven't stopped today.
That that's an awesome origin story, and the way despite all those challenges and setbacks, you've decided, you know, not to let that stop you. You decided to just like keep going, and really hope that learning becomes more accessible
Mm,
and tailored towards different learning styles. I mean, yeah, it's been done in some places, but it's not nearly widespread enough. And yeah, hopefully you can be a part of that, that process to get more universities and more schools to teach in a way that's accessible to everyone. So let's talk about your big projects, like the thing that you're working on, the thing that keeps you up at night, the thing that you are probably thinking about right now, you were thinking
yeah.
about before you joined this call. And you know, I would like to learn more about it. And why did you even come up with the idea for Cyberherd? Like what inspired you? How did you get there?
So I got interested in online safety and online education and hygiene for children quite a while back, about 2 years ago. I've done talks across the UK. I've done some web talks here and there, and I got kind of annoyed because I'm talking about the negatives, and I'm quite a positive person at the end of the day. But there's no real positive outspin. Like it's just getting worse and worse. Unfortunately, it's getting worse and worse. So I thought, okay, I'll make a solution. I thought, okay, put my hat in the ring. I'll do it. Why not? And as part of my dissertation for my final year of the degree, I've done a research proposal and a whole like 10,000 word thing on accessible cyber hygiene education via digital pets. So I made a Google Chrome extension. It's like a cow, and helps like it's like a pet. So it's like it tricks kids into learning just by being there, and little hints and advice. It doesn't like, oh no, you can't do that. It's like, oh, maybe you should try this and be careful of this, etc., etc. But on my research, I was looking for accessible, adaptive solutions for all learners, and I couldn't find any. I just generally couldn't find anything. I was like, why hasn't no one done this? Like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I can see the problem. You can see the problem. Anyone can see the problem. Why hasn't anyone done anything? So it just encouraged me more and more and more to get behind this idea of making a platform to help keep kids safe online by making learning accessible, fun, with a bit of adventure. So that's what I've been doing for like months now. Well, secretly years, but months. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. It's a free resource. It's called Cyberherd online. It's free resources, gamified education, like bring them on the adventure. It's all one storyline, one theme, and different campaigns. We're going to teach them about password security, password hygiene, phishing, all this kind of really cool like stuff that kids should be knowing. Because when you think that kids are now in the UK anyway getting their phone owners by the age of 3 years old, so they're getting phones before they can spell the word cyber. So it's like maybe we should really start focusing on this early. I'm not going to 3 year olds yet. I'm focusing on 7 to 14 year olds. Yeah, as you said, it's taken a lot of my time up. It's all self-funded by me, um, just because a solution needs to happen. There are some bits here and there out there, but there are books, which is really cool. Um, so I'm going to be doing comic books for mine, like just crazy, like comic space themed. I like cows you can see in the background and animals. It's a bit whimsical. It's a bit different, but it may help some kids. So yeah, that's the dream at the moment, making it a reality. And yeah, that's what I'm doing pretty much every day.
That sounds amazing. Space cows.
Space, time traveling space cows, time traveling space.
Time
Yeah,
traveling
because
space
why
cows.
not? If we're going to do space cow, if we're going to do a space cow, why not just make it a time traveling space cow?
So STTSCs, sentient time traveling space cows.
Yes, why? Exactly, why not? Cyber needs more
Cool.
acronyms. We need more acronyms in cyber. That's what we need, and I'm here to
Exactly.
deliver.
So obviously, like gaming is a
Mm,
huge thing, even with kids. Minecraft, Roblox, well, not Python. What's it called? Fortnite.
there's Python games now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is
Mm,
actually. But I was talking more about like online games, not just online games, but online games that are also social in
mm.
nature, where you can interact with other players, you can talk to other players, messages, they can add you as a friend. Obviously, that comes with certain dangers as well because there's some nefarious people that know that kids majorly play these games and go in there to try and find victims for like really terrible stuff. That to me is like a very very big problem, and a lot of parents are not even aware that their kids are potentially in danger by interacting in these games. So, is this something you've thought about? Like, what do you think is the way that we can solve this problem?
So back in the day, I'm gonna reveal my age. There was this game called RuneScape, and I loved RuneScape. Absolutely adored RuneScape. There were scammers in it. There was some really nefarious characters, and they'd trick you into giving you free stuff or giving you gold. That was in-game currency, and I thought it was actually fantastic. I learned so much about phishing, so much about scams through RuneScape. So touch wood, I've never been a victim as of yet because I built that resilience through the game. That changed a while back though, when with in-game currency, because it's no longer your gold in game. It's your mum or dad's or your nan's, your aunt, your guardian's credit card information. It's like real world money. So it's not necessarily just the physical desire motive out there for these predators. There's a monetary gain. And when you open the world to monetary gain, it's not just like to the nefarious people that are potentially attractive to children. You're talking to anyone that wants to earn money, and that's quite a lot of that's quite a lot of people that want to earn money. Go figure. I think there's some statistics, wasn't it? Like cybercrime is now the third biggest industry in the entirety of the world. So it's not necessarily.
Yeah, I think it said it's like it's now the third biggest economy
There
after
we go.
the US and China.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
So that's little bits here, little crime here and there, and the big bombs, explosions of this ransomware, but it's also the little bits here and there. I don't think we're ever going to make a safe online world. Unfortunately, I just don't see it happening. Every year, there's a new threat, there's a new style attack, there's a new name, there's a new thing, it's extortion, and then it's this and this AI. AI is making this accessible. It used to be that certain scammers would use emails, mass emails, and you could tell them apart because the grammar was disgusting. As a dyslexic person, if I tell you the grammar's bad, It's terrible. So, but that's not a thing anymore because they can just go on ChatGPT and make one, make a nice
Now,
campaign.
if the grammar is too perfect, it becomes suspect. That's like
Yes, we need to
that's AI.
get an army of dyslexic people to write it. The ultimate crew, our ultimate criminals. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to have a safe online world anymore. Even countries that are really strict, so there are countries that you can't have like a SIM card in your phone unless it's registered to you. They're still victims there.
That's my home country, by the way. And in Nigeria, you can't have like every SIM card is registered. You do like you provide your identity, your fingerprints, your face, and there's still online crime. People still use those SIM cards to commit crimes because if you're able to like do a SIM swap and take over someone else's SIM card, that's like you can get away with pretty much anything because it's not going to come back to you.
Yeah, it's like
You're going to try and
the
find
biggest the biggest
innocent
like
person that just like swapped out their cards. Yeah.
the biggest bypass. Can I borrow your phone, mate? Like okay, like okay, okay, master hacker there. Yeah, so like, but doesn't mean we should give up. We should make resilient citizens from a year early age and just try our best, really. Yeah, yeah, that's a dream, I guess.
Cool. Thanks for that. I guess the other question I had is as a self-funded, like bootstrapped, garage
Yeah, cow
founder,
office
just
focused.
like myself,
Yeah.
what kind of challenges have you faced? Not necessarily just due to the funding, though. I think that might be the biggest one.
Mm.
But not just the funding, but like in general, what kind of challenges have you faced with your startup, and like how have you tried to overcome those challenges?
I think it's you're the marketing expert, you're the lead developer, you're the project manager, you're the CEO, there's so much hats you have to wear. And it's organizing this. Oh, when should I do this? What order should I do this? So I'm making cyber comic books, right? So should I? But I'm also doing interactive games that have videos. So should I make the videos like still frames so I can use that resource for comic books? Okay, yeah, brilliant, makes sense. Okay, so I'll do that first. Okay, but surely I should have a game first. I should have the game. I'll make the game first, and then I'll put the video on the game. Okay, brilliant. Okay, I've just got to learn a bit, learn a bit of game development. Oh, the tool I'm using is not accessible, so let's start all over again, and do it that way. Oh, and then I've got to make the website. Oh, but then there's this rules to follow, GDPR. Okay, and there's that. So there's a lot of organizing, self-management, and very like discipline. But then you want to be creative as well. So you got to be the taskmaster, the creative person. Yeah. So and yeah, maybe if I won the lottery, I can just throw money in, etc., etc. I think you lose something a bit with that though. So I had a lot of struggles trying to get this off the ground, and I've had fantastic offers for help. But when you're having so much problems, you learn to solve the problems. I think it makes you a bit more resilient, and you become a better problem solver. So yeah, managing yourself is probably one of the hardest things to do with no with no money and a big dream.
Yeah, preach. Honestly, I can 100% relate to that. Like, I've done multiple startups and all bootstrapped and solving different problems, many of the same challenges. And I think, just like you said, it makes you more resourceful. It makes you a better problem solver. It makes you better at everything, really. Like if you find yourself as an employee in an organization, you'll be like OP, like overpowered. You'll be like, especially if you're in an organization that actually supports you and that recognizes your talent. They're lucky because they get someone who's unstoppable, right? So I think for me, I see it as like win or lose, I don't lose anything. Like even if the startup never gets to the point where I want it to get to, as long as it's making some impact and as long as I am growing and everyone that's part of it is growing, then it's a win for me. And I think that's like the most important thing.
Yeah, and
And
and it's how you look at wins and what the outcome you want to do. If you measure outcome, I want to make this startup and make £1 million or $1 billion or whatever, then yeah, you're going to be a failure. But if you stick to your mission, my mission is to try and keep kids safe online any way I can. Well, I've already achieved that because my work, my Google Chrome extensions in the store already, so that's there forever in theory, unless someone wipes it out, but that's there forever. My dissertation is going to be used for some research conference thing that my university holding, so that's going to be there forever. I've already succeeded. I just want to succeed more. I just want to succeed more. And it's like your bits you've done, the work's out there. You've inspired people to start their own thing. You've got people having this conversation. You've already won. Your goal was just not met by gold bars. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's how you frame it, I guess, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. And it would be nice to have gold bars, but that's literally not the measure of success.
Exactly.
Like if you're doing a startup just to make money, then you might be in the wrong business because
Yeah,
the chances of you actually doing that is quite slim.
yeah, it'd be some AI tool, wouldn't it? Like the tool that's going to change the game. Every company needs this, and like some snake oil thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think like it's how we measure success really, and our ultimate games. And if you're staying true to a mission, then yeah, that's I'm already succeeding. I just can't pay my bills, but I'm already succeeding. I'm already succeeding.
yeah. But I mean, you still have to pay the bills at some point. So as a lifelong learner, this is from your LinkedIn profile, by the way. But from your online presence, it's very obvious that you're someone that learns every day. You're someone that's very intentional about building yourself, building your knowledge, and you've I think you're at 800 days now, like nonstop
Yeah, as of
solving
yesterday,
labs and
801 today. 801 today.
on days.
Today, yeah.
How do you do it? Like what advice do you have for people trying to learn new things or trying to get into a new industry like cybersecurity or tech?
Hmm. I was thinking about this. I was actually thinking about this the other day. How I've managed to do it. And one of the one of, I get up really early, so I go to bed early. I go to bed like 8 9 o'clock, and I get up about 5 o'clock in the morning. So I do generally start my day early. Um, my commute from my home to university was like half an hour walk, then a train, and then another train, then like a 10-minute walk, then back. So I got into the habit of just aiming for like 45 minutes of learning. That's what, just 45 minutes, not an hour. Don't say an hour. That's a mind trick. Don't an hour. Just do 45 minutes every day. That's one of the first things I would do. But what I've done for the first 500 days, I've done a right blog thing on LinkedIn. Some days, as a dyslexic learner, the blog actually took longer than the learning, which is like, yeah, it's just the way of the world, isn't it? I was trying to be unique and just show people that I was good at this, struggled with this, etc., etc. So yeah, I think you have the discipline to just start. And I think with like anything really, people can overthink things and say, "Oh yeah, no, I'll wait for this. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll do this." Just no, don't that. Don't let the good be the perfect of. Don't let it be an enemy. Yeah, don't let perfect be the enemy of just getting it done. And yeah, just get it done really. And after a week, it's yeah. And after a month, 500 days, it's like it becomes a part of who you are. So yeah, don't overthink things. Just commit to like 45 minutes, whatever. Just, I mean, I took a generalist approach, learned a little bit about everything, but over the course of like 800 days, the knowledge adds up. I mean, sure, if I focus on one thing, maybe I could be like a proper subject matter expert. I think the way I learn, I'd rather know a bit about everything and be able to have a conversation with this, conversation about this, and add value wherever I can, really. Um, it's just it helps with with the way I move as well. I'm not being bored. I've just been learning anything. Maybe learn about blue team. Maybe learn about SOC. Maybe learn about red team stuff, cyber awareness stuff, the psychology of stuff. So that helps.
No, that's incredible. So with talking about like cyber awareness, you know, people talk a lot about security culture, about cyber awareness, about community within an organization. But from your perspective, like what do organizations actually need? Like what's the best way to bring people together as an organization, like communicate with stakeholders, security people constantly talk about how difficult it is to communicate
Yeah.
with stakeholders, with like C-suites, and that seems to be something that's just always been a problem. But from your perspective, how do we like bridge that gap between security and other parts of the organization?
So whilst my learning has been quite technical focused, and my degree was quite technical focused, I recently started a course with the Oxford University Cybersecurity Leadership course, and I'm having conversations with like leaders across the globe, which is really really cool. And I thought at first, oh, it's quite basic. Like the concept you're trying to explain to them are very like for me quite basic, and but it's like they're worried about a different level of the organization. They don't really care about like the technical solutions. They want to know well, how much time and money and is it going to be effective? So I think we always have to have that in mind that people might not have the technical knowledge that you have, but ultimately it really doesn't matter. Technical stuff does matter, don't get me wrong, but when you're having these conversations, the technical stuff really doesn't matter. So you need to be able to explain concepts in a way which everyone can really understand. So you can do two things. You can really, really know your subject really well. That's cool. That's fair enough. The more you know about it, you can relate it to other subjects. So one of my projects I've done for university was the dirty pipeline CVE, and it was really tricky to explain. And we had done a report on it, and at the end I thought, Joe, what? I'm gonna try something new. So I made a poster of this CVE, and it was the way it was about cows. So it's like relating cows to the CVE. I use cows, I use barns, I use cow feed, feeding tubes, in a way that I think most people can. Oh, I don't know what a cow is. I don't know what a farm is. Then translate that to that. I'm gonna put it out there and do a post because I'm quite proud of it. But I think like just understand that people aren't going to be as technical as you, but you don't want to embarrass people, and people don't really care how technical you are. They're, you're not there to be the best technical person in the world. You're there in that conversation to give the solution. And if the solution is you need to explain it in a way which might be funny, it might be comical, it might be slightly embarrassing to talk about your peers. Like, oh, yeah, they're not talking about this. Oh, like that doesn't matter. Just stay true to why you're there and communicate it in a way people can understand. And make sure they do understand. Don't assume people just don't ever assume that everyone understands what you're saying. Ask clarification in a way which is not going to embarrass anyone, and you might have to play the fool, or you might have to do this. Oh no, I actually said that wrong. Actually, it's really like this. Take that hit, take the ego hit. Like your job is to provide solutions and answers. Like just do that. Just do that. Don't make things easy as possible, but make sure that it's still understood.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think for a lot of people who are like super technically talented, this is really a skill that you need to build, because technical depth and technical competence combined with like very good communication skills, that's like you're unstoppable at that point, because you can get down into the technical details and come up with solutions, but at the same time you can go into rooms with like whoever stakeholder you need to talk to and get them to understand what they need to understand, get them to understand the risk, the values, the solutions. And that technical depth is like your hidden weapon, where you kind of understand how things work deep down. The other person doesn't need to have that, like you don't need to like brain dump every single thing to the other person. You can kind of filter out what they need to know and put it in the right language that works well for them. So I think, yeah, that combination is like unstoppable. But I feel like a lot of super technical people might not. I mean, it's fine. Like, not everyone is like has to be like perfect
Yeah,
at communication.
that's
There's
it.
like people are good at different things. But I'm just saying, like, if you have like good technical background and you're also good at communicating, that's really super good to have.
I think it helps to humble ourselves as well. What I mean by that is, I went to a talk, a conference this weekend, and it was one of the talks was quantum encryption. And honestly, without a word of embarrassment, I didn't understand a single word of the whole entire talk. And I was sitting there for 30 minutes, just smiling and nodding. Don't know why. Like the person was amazing, head of the best, like one of the best leaders in the world in this subject. I couldn't understand a word, and then I got thinking in the talk. Maybe this is what people feel like when you're talking about just phishing or just SQL injection or just something silly like that that me and you could understand and comprehend. But they're just smiling, smiling and nodding, and yeah, it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
So I think yeah, if you're really technical, brilliant, cool, but put yourself in a situation where you don't know, so you can try and empathize and relate, because that's a game changer. And every don't do it once, just do it every so often. Get yourself humbled 100%.
yeah, 100%. Um, Joe, I think I've exhausted like, all the questions I wanted to ask you, and of course, like a lot of things came up in between the conversation as well. But I don't know. Do you have any questions for me?
I was thinking,
I know this is not how it's supposed to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
I'm hosting you, but
Switch sides now.
why not? Why not put a spin on it?
I want to go on this side of the screen or right to here. So tell me about your childhood. No, what I find really interesting is the work you're doing with Cyberblack. I think that's really cool. But what was your triggering point? For me, my triggering point was looking around and seeing that what I wanted to see is not out there. Like the solution doesn't exist, and I just thought, okay, instead of having the bystander effect, I want to do it myself. There does seem like a lot of organisations that to help different groups around the world. But so, what made you form Cyberblack?
Well, to be honest, I didn't form Cyblack. I was part of the like group of people that formed Cyblack. So let me take you back to my masters. So I came to the UK, did a masters in cybersecurity at Salford University, and I really put everything into into that master's degree.
Yeah.
Like my bachelor's was just average, right? But that master's it was like with the amounts that it cost, you better be getting the most value out of it.
Mm,
Like I milked every every bit that I could get from that degree, and I think that really helped. But then I realized that there wasn't really like a dedicated network to support people like me. Whether it's like people who have like who are trying to switch careers into cybersecurity or people who are students. Initially, it started with just like students, like cybersecurity students and recent graduates. So you probably know Dr. Massive titan in the
mm,
industry. So back then, individually, I was trying to help as many students as I could that came after me from mostly from University of Salford because that's where my network
yeah, of course.
that was as far as my network could go. And then I think there was like a Twitter DM where we're talking about like, yeah, like people really need support and this is something that we can do. And then she said that it's also something that she's been doing larger scale than me. For
Mm,
me, it was just a few people that was like mentoring and stuff. But she actually had like an actual like mentorship thing going on, which was really good. And she had a huge following. She has, but already had a huge
yeah.
following back then. And so the conversation started, and I was like, yo, I'm down. Like, sign me up anytime. Because for me, it was just like a few people that I had been able to help. And to be able to do it on a much larger platform was, was a huge opportunity for me. And back then, I hadn't gotten my first cybersecurity role, by the
Right.
way. I had worked for the university, like part time contracts on something cybersecurity related, but that was over at that point in time. I was like working as a software engineer. Story. But so we started it as a Telegram community for students, and it wasn't even called Cyberlack, it was called Cybersecurity Support Group. And we were just like, it was just like helping students really. Like people would reach out with questions, and literally we would organize a session impromptu. Like today someone could be talking about, oh, can someone explain XYZ to me in Wireshark, and then more people start speaking up to say, hey, like I'm finding Wireshark really really challenging. And then we'll decide tomorrow we're doing a session on Wireshark, and we would do
Interesting.
it, and a lot of people would find it helpful, and they would tell their friends, and then their friends would join the community. And then yeah, a few months later it started getting much bigger. Also, that we started the first internship cohort as well. It was messy. It was like we didn't have a proper application process. Anyone could join, which meant that there were a lot of people that weren't super engaged. But then there were a lot of successful people from that internship cohort as well, as messy as it was. And we were literally figuring it out as we were going. Like we had a few weeks worth of tasks already set up. But at some point, it was like the cohort. I mean, the a particular sprint is starting on Monday, and like 4 a.m. on a Monday morning, I'm still like putting the tasks on Trello, um, so that they have their tasks on time. It was crazy, but it worked because we came together as a team to like really really push. Even though it was still tough because there were a lot of things to do and we had to do everything ourselves really. But eventually it started growing. We started getting more volunteers and we had came up with a name, organized our first conference, and then things just snowballed from there. Like we started doing more things. Now we have the SOC Academy, the Cyberlac Academy with Cisco. There's like more things going on, so many things. And currently I'm only like directly involved in a few things. Whenever whenever I talk to people about Cyberlac, or whenever people talk to me and they see what Cyberlac is doing, maybe they know about Cyberlac through me and they think it's like, bro, Cyberlac is so impressive. I don't know how you do it. I'm like, it's not me.
Yeah, it's a community effort,
If it
isn't
was
it?
me, I would be dead by now. So yeah, really, that's kind of how it's start. But it's really like really due to a lot of effort being put in by people just because they want other people to benefit from the community. You know, we have so many volunteers now that help with a lot of our programs. And usually, when someone graduates from our program and they find it super beneficial, they start asking, "Okay, how do I volunteer? How do I help?" Or when they finally get their first role, they're like, "Okay, now like, what can I do to support like the next person to get their first role?"
People
So
sending the
that
ladder back down.
we've even had people, yeah, exactly. We've even had people go off and create new communities focusing on like um the cyber lawyers that got spun out from mostly people that went through Cyberlack's program. There's like people like I was scrolling online one day and I found out some people created like a mentorship group and literally they were all Cyberlack alumni. I didn't even know about that. They just went off and did, and that's what we want really. Like we don't want to be the ones doing everything. We can't like there's a limit to what we can do directly. But if we can support people who would then become the people that make the impact, that way the impact spreads like far beyond like what we can do ourselves. So that's the whole idea.
So if you weren't doing cyber black or cybersecurity, what job would you be doing?
That's interesting. I could be a writer, um, maybe. Like I used to write, and I don't do it too much nowadays. But I used to write like fiction, poetry, even like non-fiction. Like I used to write a lot at some point in my life. Mostly due to like insomnia, but nowadays there's just not enough time. So maybe I could be a writer. I don't know.
I think like having hobbies outside and interests outside of the computer screen really helps. So like I've got all my shoes in the background, right? And they're all shiny because when I get frustrated with tech, I start shining my I start shining my shoes. I got like a drawer of polishes in there, and like yeah, so I was like, okay,
Yeah,
oh, I can't. I'm like, I can't see the problem in my code. I can't see the problem in my code. Okay, get my hands in the real world, scrub away, and that helps me anyway.
yeah.
And I think that's like in terms of
So
like learning.
if you weren't doing cyber or tech, is that what you would be doing then? Or would you be like a
One of my
cattle
jobs, I was like,
herder?
I was a cobbler in one of my jobs. I was a locksmith and a shoe repair and a phone repair person, like long ago. So I was like homeless when I was a kid. So I just done like loads of jobs to survive. So one of my jobs was that. But I think what drew me into sales and stuff was like problem solving and helping people. That's why I was really good at sales. Like I wasn't looking at you like your pound sign or your whatever currency sign. I just wanted to solve your problem. So I think yeah, I would go back into teaching maybe if it was if teaching was if teaching had a radical change. I'd love to do that again, 100%. But it's a very very weird industry of politics, a lot of this and things you disagree with. Oh no, this should be better. Oh, you're not allowed to do it that way. You have to do it that way. I remember right when I was in construction college, we had these like tower blocks, so like like they're like ladders, but they're more stable, and then you go up, and one of the head of the department come in, and goes, those students out of the tower block. They should be on ladders. And we was like trying to explain to them, the tower blocks are more safe than ladders. They just couldn't, they just couldn't understand why. So it's that kind of stuff you have to deal with, and that's what I learned about common. That's what I learned about common sense, right? And one of these lessons that stayed with me throughout my life. In construction, I used to teach people with learning that had learning special learning measurements in place. So I've worked with like people with like dyslexia, Asperger's, like everything under the sun, and that's where I learned about common sense isn't really common sense. It's common sense to you, and that my common sense is common sense to me. And it goes back to like you shouldn't assume that everyone knows everything or everyone's common sense because there's there's no such thing as like common sense. It doesn't exist. So there's little stuff like that you can take into
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's not like there's this like it's not like there's this hive mind like upload in the cloud where everyone's brain is connected. So it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, common
exactly,
sense.
exactly.
Haven't you why are you not plugged in to the common sense cloud? No, maybe in some Black Mirror episode in the future,
Yeah, in the future,
maybe you'll see that.
Elon Musk's what the mind brain chip worm, whatever. Yeah, we'll be like ChatGPT bots by the end of the year, I'm sure. But yeah, it's one of those things, and
Yeah, haven't you gotten your common sense firmware upgrade yet?
they're still hanging around.
I haven't. It's bloody £50.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's one of those things. And I think that's why I really enjoy cyber, bringing my experience from other industry into the like the cyber mindset and like blend and all that. And I think it's cool because ultimately, like cyber is like problem solving and all this kind of communication. Yeah, it's a myriad of stuff. Well, you know, obviously, like you're top notch security engineer now, undisclosed company. People read your LinkedIn.
I wouldn't describe myself as top notch
Oh, I would. Yeah, no, you'll just be humble. Yeah, you know your stuff.
unless I'm in an interview or something. Then of course, like
Yeah,
yeah, top notch, hire me.
yeah, best person to
But
exist
yeah,
ever.
I always see myself as like there's always more to learn. Like if I see myself as this like big genius, then it's like not really encouraging you. It's not really driving you to like keep learning and improving.
And I think that when people like looking into like changing careers and starting this whole cybersecurity journey, and they see there's like some person's got like 25 years experience, and but it's like yeah, but in what? Like technology that no longer exists? Have they been keeping up? Have they just got the job and just sailed through? Do they have still the desire to learn every day? Do they? You don't have to learn. You don't have to learn every day. But like, do they have like the mindset that you have? Are they thirsty enough for it? So I think like when you're new to the industry and you're starting this learning journey, it's a journey, and if you stay on that journey, the longer you're on the journey, the further you're gonna get. So, in theory, like yeah, in theory, that's rubbish. Don't delete that bit. But you know what I mean. It's like you shouldn't compare yourself to others because other people come with different experiences, different parts of the journey. You might be like a lawyer and you'll be excellent like GRC coming into like cybersecurity. Fantastic. You might be UX designer and like, oh, we can design this, make sure it's accessible from design. Wow, you're ahead of the person that's been doing the same old thing for 20 years. You never know. And like, yeah, don't count yourself out.
Yeah, and to be like a lawyer can be a good pen tester. Do you know why?
It's man.
If you're a litigation lawyer or you've been like a prosecutor or something, and like you're literally pen testing, you're literally trying to poke holes in the other party's arguments. You're spending nights like trying to find ways to like get through their defense. Or if you're on the other side, you could be like a SOC analyst because or like a security engineer implementing controls or trying to strategize security design. You're kind of doing something similar with like trying to build like a solid defense for your clients or trying to find like legal loopholes or trying to find ways to make sure that your client stays out of jail.
Some ancient law book where like trial by combat with pistols at dawn. That's still law. We're gonna do that. You never know. And I
Yeah.
think when you're new and there's so much to know, and you don't really know what you need. You don't know enough to know what you need to know about. And it's like, okay, well, that's probably one of the biggest problems you have straight away. But yeah, go to the Cyber go to Cyber I've been to a Cyber conference. I met some really cool people there. Like it was an online one, and there was breakaway rooms, and I was speaking to people like all around the world, and that's really cool. And I was made to feel welcome. So yeah, go go to cool events like that and just get have many conversations with as many people as in different stages of the career because you can learn something 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And this reminded me of Justin when we first met. It was crazy. Like it was. I don't know if you've met him. There's this guy called Aid Taylor. He was my mentor in NCSC for startups, and I think he posted something, and then Justin commented, and in true Justin fashion, he commented on it and asked about like accessibility stuff. How do we make sure this is accessible? And then the guy just like mentioned me like, you might want to talk to this Ali guy, and then that's how we connected. And we were meant to talk for 30 minutes, and I think we spent like 5 hours talking, like 5 hours. The first time that we spoke,
Awesome.
and I felt like, oh my god, this guy is like his his years of experience is like my age. Sometimes that can be a little bit intimidating,
Mm.
but he's kind of person that can learn from anyone. Like he doesn't look at, oh, you're just starting your career, or you're you're a junior, you're not you're not like executive level or whatever. He really doesn't care. I've seen it many times. Like whenever he joins Cyberlac sessions, he always learns one or two things from our interns that haven't even gotten into the industry.
100%.
Like he's like, and he acknowledges it as well. He tells them like, yo, what you just said has just given me an idea for something that I'm going to use. And that also gives them a boost of confidence. Like, okay, yeah, I can actually contribute something to this field. If someone at that level is acknowledging that the value of something I just said that I wasn't even confident of saying. So I think really like we should be open to learning from anyone, like regardless of like years of experience or whatever, because everyone brings something unique to the table.
And it's hard. Isn't it hard? Like going a bit off topic here, but life is sometimes really tricky and really hard. People start a new career, start a new thing. And the cybersecurity, yeah, in essence, we can simplify it, but there are some really hard concepts to grasp, and you can be really technical, you can be untechnical, but you might need to understand this, and then you go on holiday, or you're pregnant, you have a baby, and you miss out that key culture shift or this technology. There's a lot to like go against you in life, isn't it? So I think like being around positive people and communities and meeting people like you and Justin and other like cyber interns and stuff. I just think that's like, yeah, it's like you find your people at the end of the day, don't you? And that really helps. If that makes any sense, like randomly jumble in there. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And unless you have something else that you want to talk about, I have used up my the time I booked with you, so I'm conscious not to like take too much more.
Yeah, no, I'm cool, man. It's lovely catching up as always, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for your time, for your insights and your thoughts. This has been a really, really good conversation. And yeah, hopefully we get to do this sometime again in the future. Maybe when like Cyber Herd is like $1 billion
Yeah.
unicorn.
Well, you never know. We're going
And then,
across the
and then it'll be
globe.
very difficult to get your time. I would have to go through like your executive assistant or something.
I'll give you the best assistance number. Don't worry. But if anyone,
Yeah.
if anyone listening to this needs any clarification of what I said, reach out to me on LinkedIn or whatever. I'm completely fine. 100% not a problem at all. Sometimes I'm not always clear, and I
Awesome.
understand.
Thank you so much. Yeah. If you're listening to this before 14th of August, catch me at Cyberlac conference in UC Land Preston. Of course I'm going to like self plug. Come on.
Put that big edit. Big edit, like a big banner. Find me here.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you, mate. Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your weekend, Joe.
Yeah. Catch that, pal.
All right.